Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our OWL interview with Dr. Mario Nubile. Um, thank you for joining us. First I'll introduce myself. I'm Maza Martin. I work at Tarsus Pharmaceuticals and I'm on the board of OWL. I've worked with OWL for many years and very excited to be expanding into our European um, space with OWL. So big thanks to our guest, Mario Nubile. He's an MD, PhD, and the president of EuCornea. So thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Maza.
So before we begin, I'll just orient everyone the plan for today. We have 30 minutes and we have some prepared questions that Mario and I are going to have a little discussion, get to know him a little bit better, and we'll then take some questions at the end for Q&A. If you have questions along the way as the discussion's progressing, please feel free to put those in the chat. We'll be monitoring that and can ask them at the end of the interview. Also, this interview is being recorded and it will be available for OWL members on demand if you weren't able to make it today or some friends that would like to see it afterwards. So with that, Mario, I'd love for you to just give our attendees a quick introduction of yourself. Where are you from? Where do you practice?
Right. As you know, I am from Italy, which is always appreciated countries when I tell people that I'm from Italy. I'm also glad to be Italian. So I was born here. I was been educated here. I live actually in not in a big town. It's quite a small town, but it's a university town that is called Chieti. That is right in the center of Italy on the Adriatic coast. It's a nice place because we are very close to the sea and we have also beautiful mountains at 20 kilometers. So it's rare to have mountains and sea together. And there is this university town where I've been there for my life entirely. Was educated here and now I practice as a associate professor in ophthalmology. And my fields of interest, of course, I teach in the university. I work in the hospital of my city, and my fields of interest, as you may know, it's mainly the cornea and the gyrus segment.
That's wonderful. That sounds beautiful. The mountains and the sea. I live in California, so we also have mountains and sea nearby, which is great. I love that. Um, so how did you get into ophthalmology? Like, was it a coincidence that you found eye care? Was it always your passion?
No, I would say it was a good incident because when I was a student, I was undecided between some different specialties. Radiology was on top of the list because I loved imaging, technologies, all this stuff, all the innovation behind it. But at the same time, I was attracted by surgical branches like gynecology was my first choice, just to have an operative role. But then during my training, I realized that maybe ophthalmology combines, somehow brings all these words together, combines, sophisticated technology with medicine, microsurgery, and also you can have a close relationship with patients. So I found it quite unique. And then I realized that uh, ophthalmology is quite unique also because it helps in having a strict relationship directly close to the patients.
With the patients. That's great. Did you sort of, how did you find that? Like, did you have mentors or advocates maybe that helped you along the way as you were advancing your career, even once you were in ophthalmology?
Yes, of course. I think everyone has mentors, from the primary school, more or less. So I would not start from my mentors in the primary school, although always remember my primary school teacher. That's really helped me in understanding that studying is something that is a prize, is a gift, it is an opportunity. Not everywhere is possible to study in the world, as we know. And therefore, the possibility of going to school, it's something we should appreciate. If we go back to the past generations, in Italy, only few people could go to the university when my grandparents were living.
Yeah.
Today is quite normal, but we should consider this as an opportunity. So I still think that during the process of learning, mentors are fundamentals because you don't only get information, you get mentality, philosophies, and whatever. So I had, starting not from the primary, but at the latest stage of my career when I graduated, I had two very important mentors during my career in different ways. The first one is Professor Leonardo Mastropasqua, who has been the director of our University of Ophthalmology clinic for 25 years. And I worked with him for 25 years or even more. And he introduced me in the clinical ophthalmology and surgery, but also he was a passionate of technology and this kind of advancement, and he shaped my the way I approach the academic medicine, I would say, and the scientific developments. But then the second one is Professor Aminder Dua, who is also one of the founder of EuCornea, and had the chance to collaborate with him since approximately 2005. He has been some kind of international mentor for me because we didn't live close together, but somehow we continuously collaborated, and he inspired me with his scientific mindset and I would say intellectual curiosity, and also
Mhm.
a really ethical approach to medicine and research. So I think these two people, helped me a lot, and I will never forget about them. And I think that, mentorship is about transmitting values and vision, how you approach life, patient, colleague, and research, not what you teach practically.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, it's great how that collaboration, even internationally, right? That you have the opportunity to really learn from mentors in different countries and just all throughout ophthalmology, and that you're able to still work with them today, right, as your director. Um, so you mentioned you and one of these mentors helped to start EuCornea. So tell me about the beginnings of EuCornea. Why did you start it, or how did it come to fruition?
So EuCornea, it was a long journey for me. EuCornea was founded in 2010 by four doctors who were, the founding directors, that were Arminder Dua, Vincenzo Sarnicola, José Guel, and François Malecas from France, and actually had the chance to visit the first Congress as an attendee in EuCornea, and I really felt a strong passion rising from the first day of the Congress. I think that EuCornea broadened my perspectives really enormously a lot, both scientifically and personally. I had the opportunity to truly experience ophthalmology within an international environment, not only limited to my country, seeing how colleagues work in different countries in Europe and beyond. And also, I had the chance to learn about different, philosophies, educational models, research strategies. They were all important for my professional growth. And sometimes you also get some reinforcement about what you're doing. So I'm doing right because I see that people from other countries do the same. So I'm in the right path, for example.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. And it's now that you are president of EuCornea, right? Gone from being an attendee in that first year to now leading the organization. Um, what are your goals for your presidency with EuCornea?
This is a very important question because this is something that I start thinking about, many years ago, and this is my probably one of the my thoughts when I woke up every day. Because if you have the opportunity to lead a society for a certain period of time, which is this, 2 year time, you want to do your best for the society and for the people. And because when you have the opportunity to lead something, then the chance to do good things is in your hands.
Mhm.
And so you wouldn't waste this opportunity. So, first of all, we think also uh, following what my previous president, Beatrice Kochner, did is to invest strongly in the younger generation. Because
Mhm.
it's quite obvious, but it's the future, and you should consider the past as a lesson to learn. What are the things to avoid and what are the things to continue. Somehow maintaining the tradition, but the future is not us. So investing in younger generation is central to the future of this society, and not a separate mission. So we would like to support early career ophthalmologists. It's probably one of the most long-term investment that we can do in a scientific community. That's why we created the Young Academic Committee. That was the idea that younger colleagues could enter into the leadership of, through research, education, collaboration, scientific discussion early in order to shape the society, especially because now the world is changing very fast. So we need younger generation. And today, I would say that information is accessible much more than in the past because everyone using a tablet, a smartphone, through platform, YouTube videos, whatever, digital, they can get whatever information in seconds. You want to do how surgery is done, how a special technique is there, you can check in 20 seconds, you can ask ChatGPT. So probably it's not a question of delivering information, but it's a question of, giving access to mentors, to colleagues, to centers that you could physically visit, creating opportunity for a real dialogue for careers. This is something we could add rather than just giving access to simple information. This is one of the goal, I would say.
Yeah. That's really interesting how you bring that up, that information is everywhere, right? I mean, it used to be that you had to go to a conference to really get, fundamental information, but now in today's world where you have AI, you have everything at your fingertips, it's much more to your point, I think about the people and the mentors and the actual connection in real life, so to speak, as the kids say, in real life. um, no, I love that focus on mentorship and people, and I think that bringing in the younger generation, right, and increasing the different perspectives in the field and really bringing them up is a really important goal. I think that actually aligns really well also with some of OWL's goals, right? OWL's been, our mission is to advance diversity in leadership, right? And that comes in all forms in terms of leadership development, of next generation, diverse perspectives. And I think that that seems to fit really nicely with some of your goals for EuCornea. So I wonder, how do you have any thoughts on, how we can work together on improving that? With OWL, with EuCornea, are there opportunities that you see there for us to help advance those goals?
Yes, of course. I think you stressed a very important concept too, that is the philosophy that is behind your organization. And I really believe that alone everything is, more difficult to achieve rather than putting together resources and teams. Together everyone achieves more. That's the acronyms of the word team.
Yeah.
And so I think that all can play a very important role because this kind of organization help to transform, inclusion from something that is uh, very abstract to something that is practical. Because at the end, you have to be practical, because always words, uh, that are there in the cloud somewhere, that is equality, the opportunity, but then how you transform these things into practice. So I think creating, visibility, really, mentorship opportunities, networking. The word networking is important because if you have access to people, you have access to dialogue with the institution or person, doctors, whatever, companies, industries. It's really important. So I think you can help people feeling well represented and well connected in the ophthalmic community. That's my thought. So I hope you can achieve this.
Yes, no, I love that. We're definitely working towards that. Um, any new exciting programs or something we have to look forward to? I mean, I'm excited to be at EuCornea in Porto in just a few weeks. Um, Any highlights?
Yes, so I would say that, the Congress of EuCornea, that is, the annual Congress this year in the beautiful city of Porto, that should be visited once. I've never seen Porto, so it will be for my
Me either.
first time, and so a nice opportunity. And people from almost every part of the world will be joining, hopefully, depending on the flights. The strange situation we have nowadays. But I think it is a must for people who are in the cornea field, because they have the opportunity to visit a congress where the ophthalmic cornea specialists in the world are discussing, presenting, and sharing their knowledge. But regarding what EuCornea is trying to shape for this year, and Porto would be an opportunity to have some insight about this, is the fact that we are trying to create a global connection among the supranational corneal societies. So EuCornea is representing Europe,
Mhm.
but there are some others, not many others, corner societies, like Corner Society for especially for America, Pan Corner for South America, Asia Corner Society, and New Zealand and Australian New Zealand Corner Society. And so on a global perspective, we are trying to connect all this society into practical projects. And one practical project is the creation of a global Delphi panel on a specific topic, which is corneal infections. And corneal infections is a broad topic, because it causes corneal blindness and a lot of economical burden in every part of the world. So trying to connect societies into this 1 year, it's a long project where all the societies will be involved with many experts. So it's something that we are very proud, because EuCorn is leading this project, and in the EuCorn in Porto it will be presented the first highlight of this initiated project.
Wow, that sounds very, very amazing. I can't wait to see it. Um, so in our last few minutes, I'd love to ask you a couple fun questions as we wait for those on the line. If you have questions for Dr. Nubile, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get those answered. Um, but maybe just to kick us off, Doctor, do you have an unexpected skill or hobby that many people may not know about that you'd like to share with us?
Um, Apart from ophthalmology, so hobbies, they change a lot during life, because of course you have to adapt the hobbies to your age. And so I was a biker, moto biker in the past, but then when my third boy was born, I decided to sell the motorbike. So I had this for the past. I also was very passionate to scuba diving and apnea diving. This is something I still do, but with a little bit of prudence, I would say. But this one is really so. I really love the sea, and I would like to live underwater. So that's
Underwater.
yes, and the other passion that is probably less risky is playing the piano. I had the chance to learn to play the piano when I was a kid and a boy. Then I stopped for some years. Then I had the possibility to play in a band when I was at the university, and then I worked too hard for 15 years. But then I started again 5 years ago to play the piano, and I'm very happy about this.
What type of music do you like to play? Like classical, jazz?
Classical,
What's your
classical, classical, classical.
classical piano? Of course, the Italian composers, all the amazing music.
Yes, I do.
I love that. Well, now that you have your boys, maybe they will get their own motorbikes and take up your hobby
No,
with you.
I'm against. I'm against, especially because I said I took the risk, so you shouldn't do the same. So
Do as I say, not as
it's
I do, right?
not very fair, but I'm quite against motorbike for them.
Oh my goodness. Um, let's see. Gaynor, do we have any questions in the chat? If not, I have a couple other ones as well.
We've got one question here about if you had to choose again, would you still become an ophthalmologist?
Good question.
Definitely yes. Uh, because I learned, during the year that past. Actually, we are very lucky to be ophthalmologists because, first of all, we live in a world that combines really different aspects of medicine. So you have the direct connection with the patient's life. Then you have a lot of, clinical activities. But then you have, as I said in the beginning of the interview, a lot of technology which is there. You can imagine that you are dealing with 3D vision microscope, like neurosurgery, for example, or microsurgery with robotics. But still, you are, you know, in direct contact with the patients. And one thing that I learned is that, with a simple touch, sometimes you can really change the quality of life of patients because sight and vision is so important for everyone that maybe the fact that just simply doing a corneal transplant or another kind of even cataract surgery, this improves quality of vision, but then quality of life to patient. So you're very well connected to patients. So I will definitely choose again this because it pays back a lot of good sensations.
I love that. That's great. And then, if you don't mind, I'll just ask one more. I know you mentioned earlier in the interview about the importance of early career development, but if you had to give some advice to your younger self as you were starting your journey in eye care, what advice would you give?
To be curious, because curiosity, people that were very important stress this concept like Einstein. But curiosity is the first trigger of science, and medicine should be strictly related to science. So if you do medicine just for doing your practice, probably you don't achieve a 360-degree goal of what you could do. So I would say be curious and try to be passionate to research, especially because you should study not only when you're young. If you want to be a doctor, you always need continuous education, even if you are at the end of your career. So things changes so fast that if you don't study, you're out of the system. So why not doing this from the very beginning, achieving the mentality of being a researcher, or at least understanding how research and progress and development works. So I would say be curious, passionate, study always, and try to do the job, not for money for sure.
I love that. I think that's really central to a lot of what we do is staying curious, continuous learning, right? It never ends. I think we all try to teach our children that, but I think you're right. This is not something that ends, right? It's a continuous thing throughout your life. Um, I have another question, Mario, like how do you stay, curious and stay up on all sort of the latest technology and the newest things that are coming out? Sort of how do you um, do that learning for yourself even now and today?
So today, it's difficult because one of our greatest enemy, I think, not only for doctors but I think also for you, is the shortage of time. So if we had more time, we could do more things, including studying a lot of things, which is not only our subjects, not only, cornea or medicine or whatever, but probably would study, different recipes or Chinese or other things. So having a shortage of time and being always somehow in a very complicated life, I think that choosing to have some time dedicated to learning as time dedicated to family or to hobbies, whatever, is very important. So what I try to do is to when we attend congresses, for example, this is a fantastic opportunity because maybe with half of a day you achieve the goal of uh, increasing your knowledge as if you have read, 3 books of 1,000 pages,
Mhm.
and also it facilitates because they tell you what you should know rather than you search what is there, what is important to me. So, for example, congresses and scientific activities is one thing I always, and I'm very proud and happy to be in this board because it's easier to get, on the level of what you need to do nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Yes, it's accelerated learning. Um, Wonderful. Gaynor, let us know if we have any other questions.
Just one on a personal side of things. Did you, as you were coming up, did you work? I know we talked about Italy and how it seems to be everybody's favorite country to visit, but did you have the opportunity to work or study abroad as you were coming up through the ranks?
No, I didn't have the opportunity to study. I studied, when I studied medicine, it was not the first 3 years of medicine that were in a different city, not in my city. It was Bologna, which is a very historical city.
Mm.
Never abroad. So just for short periods, I would say no more than 2 months. I've been in UK, in Oxford after graduation. That was a long time ago. And then I've been in Pittsburgh, US, for some times, but it was very, very short period, so I wouldn't say that I had the chance. But I strongly recommend to do this if you can, because this really widen your perspectives and your career opportunities.
Mhm. If you could go anywhere, where would that be? Or if you had the opportunity now to go, obviously now it's with family and all that, maybe not, but if you could do it again, where would you want to go?
In the place where it's most difficult to enter, which is New Zealand, I would say. Uh,
Oh,
Also because it is the opposite part of the world from Italy, exactly on the opposite
on the
side.
other side, yeah.
Yeah, and I think New Zealand and Australia are, places to visit, and also I think they work very well in the field of medicine.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I think this has been a great discussion. It's been great even for me to get to know you better, and I'm really excited for our partnership between OWL and EuCornea and for all the exciting things that you mentioned for the meeting in Porto the end of May. So, with that, I think we will adjourn the meeting, and thank you to all the attendees, everyone who tuned in for this interview with Dr. Mario Nubile.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. See you all in Porto.
See you then. Bye bye.
Bye.